Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the StreetCred show. I'm Gorana Angert, I'm your host, and I'm so excited to introduce you to my new guest today. Her name is Joyce Lely, and she's an artist, she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur, she's a mindset mentor, and I can't wait to have a conversation about what it's like to be multi-passionate entrepreneur. So if you're one, you want to stick around for the whole conversation. If you know one, you want to tag them in the comments. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and here on Facebook. So here is Joyce.
Hello. Hi, it's so nice to be here. Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
I'm so excited that you're here too. And you're coming to us from New Zealand.
Yep.
Which is a treat because our guests have been from all over the world, our audience is from all over the world, but I so love to talk to people down under because you're coming from the future.
Yes, it's Saturday here.
Yes, it's 16-hour difference. We're on East Coast of America and you're in New Zealand, so 16-hour difference. So I love it that you're coming from the future.
Yeah, it exists. So yeah, better.
Yeah. Tomorrow will come.
Tomorrow will come. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're Dutch, but now
I am
in New Zealand. So how did that come about?
Yes. Well, I grew up in Holland, and as a young adult, started traveling a lot. I really love traveling to different cultures, different countries, and the more you do it, the further away you go. After a while, it was like, gosh, there's so many nice places in the world. And Europe, for those that know Europe, is a pretty crowded place. And especially Holland is a very small country and had a lot of people. So we thought, you know, maybe just try and see if there's a nicer place in, you know, with a better quality of life. And that's a little bit how we ended up down here. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. New Zealand is one of my places to go see, like on my bucket list, because it is so beautiful.
And it's famous because of the movies, of course, yes.
Oh, yes, the Lord of the Ring, right?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, yeah. Hobbiton is actually just not so far away from here.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I want to come visit. Sure. But tell me about being multi-passionate entrepreneur. What is it all about? You know, I'm one, so I have my own take on it, but I want to know what is that experience for you?
In hindsight now, I realize that I've always been a multi-passionate person. I remember as a young girl spending nights with my grandparents, and my grandfather was very creative as well. And I remember one time, you know, he said to me, Joyce, we are very lucky because we are like millipedes. We can do many, many things. And there are a lot of people that cannot do that. And, you know, I mean, it's something that suddenly I remembered later on, you know, when I was struggling with how do you, I had so many interests, you know, and it was so, I always had this trouble with time because I always thought like, I'm not going to live long enough to do all the things that I want to do. And yeah, hence the thing with the clock in the back as well.
So interesting because I had the same thing. I identify myself as a multi-passionate entrepreneur and having a lot of different interests too. And I had a very similar experience with time, the relationship with time. Yeah. You know, it's like the biggest enemy because you don't have enough time to do everything that you want to do, which makes you want to select something and then leave things behind. And you can't really leave things behind because they're part of you and part of your interests. So that's really interesting that you say that.
Yeah. So it felt, for a long time, it has felt very frustrating to me because I wanted to do so much and then I never felt like I had enough time. And because I worried so much about that, I lost time. And then I would miss things, you know, I would miss deadlines or I would start forgetting things because I was sidetracked by other shiny objects. And, you know, it's sort of a vicious circle that can drag you down. But the thing is that if you realize what it is and if you hone into ways to make it work for you, then it you can reverse that and you can go in an upward spiral. And that is, it has taken a lot of work and a lot of reflecting and a lot of understanding of myself. And I think that is the thing, that a lot of multi-passionates are so drawn to things, shiny objects and things that they're curious about, outside of themselves, that they sometimes forget to really find out inside what it is that they truly want to do. There's so many things that are beautiful and interesting, but you can actually start to filter things out. That some ideas might be wonderful, but they're not yours to pursue, and they're not your projects to do, to create. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I was thinking when I was going through my little struggle of kind of fitting in the pieces that I have going on and how to put it together, I think what derailed me a lot is trying to fit in other people models.
Yeah.
And right, and that's one thing that, looking back, is like, you have to create your own model because you're not like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because you have the interests and you can do a lot of different things. So you can be strategic and tactical at the same time. You can be analytical and creative at the same time. And other people can't really kind of follow that. And then they're like, you're too aloof, you're too like all over the place, you're scattered, you're this and that. And you have to find your own process, your own kind of outline, if you will.
Yeah. And then I now call it my organized chaos. Yeah,
exactly. So why do you think it's so important to understand your own, like you were talking about, what really brings you joy, what brings you alive, even though you can do all these different things and you're good at it.
Yeah. So for me, it was really important to find out what the core thread of my web was, sort of thing. The thing that holds and that brings all the different things that I like to do and that I'm good at doing together. Because there are, if you look at it, and I found that out myself, but I also see that in other women that I talk to, like you, and other people that I work with, like my clients. I find that out all the time, that within all the curiosity and all the things that we can do and we love to do and we're interested in and curious about and all that, there usually is a core thread that you can find that runs through or connects many different things. And if you find that, then you can, those things that have that core thread, you can put those together and you can weave that together in something really, really beautiful. And that's what I just said before. Some ideas might be beautiful, but are not yours to fulfill.
Exactly.
And they are the ones that are cool and interesting as well, but they don't have that core thread. So they don't fit your magic carpet. They are the ones that you perhaps help somebody else fulfill and finalize.
Was there a particular moment that you can recall when all of those pieces came together for you?
Well, when it's not like one magic moment where everything fell together, boom, in one in one hit, but there was definitely an eye-opening moment, of course. There usually is. And for me, it was when I experienced these earthquakes in 2010 and 2011. They really opened my eyes to what is important in my life. The thing that is important for me is to be able to feel free and independent. And what I mean, like in every sense of those words. So I want to feel free to make choices in my life. I want to feel free in where I live, in the space that I live. I want to feel free to be able to think what I like to think. So, and independent, to be independent in again, making decisions of what do I do, when and where. I have this, I don't like to feel constricted by anything. I don't like to feel locked up. And I think that I locked myself up for a long time as well. But these earthquakes really opened my eyes. I only want to do what makes me feel free and independent and gives me fun. that was really the moment where I said, okay, that needs to happen. So, and then I found that in a lot of the things that I do and that I already liked to do before, there were these underlying things that I really had not really seen even, when I create, I'm an artist. So when I paint and create for myself, I feel free, of course, but then there is again this pressure from outside, like, oh, you make a painting to sell, or you make a painting so other people will like it. Actually, no. I paint because I enjoy the process. It is not really about the outcome. It is about the process. It's about the enjoyment and the fun and the energy that I get out of that, rather than will it be something that potentially this person likes, or society says, oh yeah, well, that's really nice. That's not really important. So it's those things, finding out that the importance is within you. That is you need to do what makes you happy. Leave behind everything that you do for others, because that's really not making you happy.
Yeah. And I noticed you have a lot of mindsets behind what you were just talking about, and you're a mindset mentor. So tell me about your work.
So again, the earthquakes were a really great starting point for that, because it made me really curious on how the human brain and the mind works. Because like the place where this all happened in Christchurch on the South Island, there were so many people that experienced exactly the same event, and perhaps some were hit a little bit more harder than others. But you see the difference in how people react afterwards, what people do with this experience. And that really made everything so interesting, because I thought, why? I mean, it just started like we had no family support, because we were just there, my partner, my kids, and I, the four of us. And so we lost power, we lost sewage, we lost water, we lost, we were in this house that was still standing, but, it was almost like camping and a lot of places were deserted and broken. And anyway, I seemed to get along pretty well. So a lot of other women that I knew in the area at some point asked me, how do you cope so well with all this happening, and you don't even have family support here? And I said, well, I don't know. I just, I do this, and I have my art journaling, and they really were interested in that, because they said, you're coping better than we are. So how do you do that? And then I started to dive in, like working with them and showing them what I was doing and how I managed to get emotionally through it and keep the kids calm and all that, and it helped them as well. Once they started doing that, it helped them as well.
I love that.
And I also learned the thought process that they had going on in their minds, in their heads, the things that they were telling themselves. And I found out that there are so many connections to how you talk to yourself inside and what you listen to, and how you make your choices and how you deal with everything that's going on. So that mindset is like a huge thing. And I just this week, I heard somebody say, what's your big dream? And, you give an answer, and then, their reply will then be, okay, the distance between your wonderful dream and where you are now is this big, which is the size of this.
Your head.
It's like there. It's there.
Yeah.
And it has everything to do with your mind. Yes, it does. And so, I'm now really working to create creative processes and techniques and exercises that in a fun way work on your mindset, so you do your creative things, your art journaling and your creative expression, at the same time you do deeper mindset work, and it goes really well together.
And what I love about it is that you're combining your different passions with your mindset work, with your art, being creative.
So it's fun. I play every day.
So who are your clients? Who do you help with their mindset now?
So in general, my clients are women, because I focus on women. I'm the breadwinner of my family, so we swapped roles after the quake. So that comes with another whole, set of mindset things.
Sure.
But yeah, so I mainly work with women, and then they are creative thinking, often multi-passionate women as well. And they're usually at a point where they have come to a point where they feel either lost or stuck. Lost because they have so many things that they love to do and they really don't know what to choose, like I was for a long time. Or stuck, they've started something and they hit a wall and don't see how they can get out of there or around it. And yeah, so those are usually the points where they come to me and where I help them with. Yeah.
What is the typical result that after they worked with you, they experience?
Well, they become free. I really focus on getting everybody that I work with to a stage where they feel comfortable within themselves, comfortable with their choices they've made and what they're doing. And because of that, they are inspired, energized, and because of that, they breathe out this vibe that feels free and easy. And like, life doesn't have to be tough and difficult. It is, again, the choices and the decisions you make on how to get through things. I mean, everybody, honestly, I haven't met anybody yet that hasn't been through something horrible or tough or difficult in their life, and everybody can get through it if you allow yourself to feel, and if you allow yourself to connect with your true self, because we play hide and seek with ourselves often. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and a lot of people are not really honest with themselves,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you created Fierce Female Force.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So yes, when I did a lot of local work here, and New Zealand is a lightly populated area. So for me to grow, I mean, there was really no other choice than to go online, and I had to overcome my own challenges. I had my own challenges for that, because I'm actually quite shy and I rather sit, so in my studio, like I hide in my cave. But so I had to go online, and I needed something that would give me a little boost. So I always feel like women have a real strength. You hear stories all the time. If something is happening to a woman's child, suddenly she is stronger. She can lift a car, or she can run fast, or whatever. So I feel like we have a force. I also feel like we have our superpowers, which is also a force. And I always say, like, it sits there here in your gut area, and it looks like a vortex. It looks like a spiral. And so that's how I see our force. I'm a female, as I said before. We swapped roles. I'm now providing for my family, and we've decided that my partner is looking after the house and the cooking and all that, which comes with another thing that society looks at that a little bit with their own ideas about that. So I had a little bit of a struggle where I felt like, am I still feminine? And because you go into money making mode, and so that had its own struggle. And I sort of, the Fierce Female Force is for me sort of a mantra. Every time I say it, I go, yes, we are women, we are strong, we have powers, we have superpowers, we are fierce, we are fearless. So that's really how I came up with the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way with the roles. Because sometimes I worked in corporate for a really long time with only men. Yeah. So I was usually the only woman on the team, and sometimes you have to kind of step into more masculine kind of outside, or how you project yourself, or how you carry yourself, or how you talk to people. Because I'm short, and everybody was like a foot taller than me. You know, it's like the size difference and things like that. But I love what you just said. You're still this force.
Yeah.
And
you're still a woman, you know? Yeah.
yes.
And don't forget and tap into that. And luckily, I have my my art making, because that is a creative outlet, and creative outlets usually boost up your feminine energies inside, you know, because we all have, men and women, we all have masculine energy and feminine energy running through our bodies. And it is just that you want to find a nice balance. It's like a dance, you know, you go a little bit here, you go a little bit there. And it's okay that it's sometimes in your business, for instance, you need to be a little bit more in your masculine, and that's totally fine. But then bounce back and, you know, swing a little bit into your feminine and go through life like that. So that's what I want my life to feel all the time, you know, like it's like I'm just swinging through life. Yeah.
Yes, with
Yeah.
ease, with grace, and you're still
Yeah.
yourself, and you're still bringing all of you.
Yeah.
And
So
you,
yes, really tap into everything that you have, you know. Don't forget, we are multi-layered people. We have so many experiences throughout our lives. They all make up who we are. So it would be silly to leave behind certain parts of yourself. So yeah, focus on including everything that you have, all of you, more of you. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And we have Christine join us. Hi, Christine. She said, hi, Lely.
Hello.
I found you. Love you, Joyce. She's our hero. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, so that brings me to your new summit coming up, all of you, which is all about bringing all of you and being multi-passionate. So tell us more about the summit and who is it for, what it is, and all of the details.
Yeah. So as I said, I've been working online for a few years now, quite some years now, and I do these summits every year. And this time around, I thought I really want to emphasize, I really want to bring a platform for Multipassionate specifically, because a lot of the summits, a lot of the things, advertisements and things that you get online is so like, oh, let's be a boss babe and let's do, you know, it's very very loud and very singular, like it's either for business or it's either for love or it's, you know, and multi-passionates, they have so many varied interests, and we always feel like we're not really fitting in. Yes, we do self-love kind of things, that's love, you know, that's nice, but there is so much more. We have so much more. Yes, we are creatives, but we're also thinkers. You know, it's not that we're just painting pretty pictures. You know, we also or making a lovely piece of music or writing a story or a poem. It is also that we're thinking. You know, we multi-passionate people, Renaissance souls. I like the word Renaissance souls actually. They're people that usually think a lot about a lot of things and like to have deep conversations and things and philosophize, if you will, you know, and that is often I cannot find it much, you know, and so I really wanted to make this summit for those that feel that way, that feel like they're not really fitting in, but they want to. But they also want to be free. You know, it's that
I think
feeling.
that's so true. I know for myself, being the perfect person for that summit, you know, because you can paint a picture one day, you can write a song another day, you can do a TV show the other day, and you just want to put all of it together. But then when you're talking to somebody about TV shows, they don't see the art, they don't see all the other stuff. Like, talk to me about this, and you're like, but I want to talk to you about everything. So I think that's so true. Like, putting it all together. So I think
so it is for those creative thinking, out of the box women, you know, that really want to feel like, yes, they belong as well, because there are so many of us, you know, actually. You know, when you start looking around, there are actually so many multi-passionate women in the world, and they all struggle with the same thing, you know. And it's when you allow yourself to tap into all that you have, it's when you get comfortable with yourself, with who you are, how you present yourself, and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can tell you a story. I was at the mastermind event, and it was about business and about business growth and about sales and everything. And we had this mastermind time. It was like a group of 8 people or something around the table. And I have 3 different pieces of intellectual property that I created myself. And they're different, right? And so we're sitting there and they were telling me, like, pick one. Just pick one. Pick the horse and ride it. You know, just pick one and go with it. And I felt like I was going to cry because I had to leave 2 things behind. And like, I just couldn't separate until you find a way to fold them into one thing. Then it's like, okay, now I can go. You know, so I think when you talk about business, especially being multi-passionate in business, I think that's the key to being able to bring all your stuff together into one thing. And I love what you said earlier, like there's a thread through the things that you love. And that's how you know what goes in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. And it is true what you say. If you find a way to fold together or to weave together or blend together the different things that you don't want to leave behind. And it's that moment where you find the connection where you go like, oh, but if you put them like, if I put them together like this, then I have this gem, you know, and that is so exciting. So it's like we're on adventures all the time. I feel like I'm on an adventure the whole time. You know, my life, my work is an adventure, and then also the women that I get to work with. You know, I get to go on their adventures as well. So it's really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just finding that moment where like, oh, I can do it this way, that also separates you from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because nobody has your talents and your interests and your know-hows and your processes and things like that. And now you're able to package it in one thing that is uniquely yours. And it can really help you stand out in the market too.
Yeah. So that's the upcoming summit is filled with women like that. Yeah.
So when does it start, and how can people sign up for it?
To sign up, you go to findyourforce.com, findyourforce.com. That's the page where you can register. It's a free event, and I've got 24 speakers, guest speakers. And they also all bring extra free gifts. So it's a bonus thing.
Yeah.
I would sign up straight away if I were you.
We'll put it in the comments below so that you can register. Like you said, it's free. So you know,
so it starts on the 16th of September, but there will be a live opening ceremony session on Sunday the 15th.
Oh, okay.
For those in your time zone. Sunday the 15th. It will be Monday the 16th in the morning for me, but that's okay. Yeah, so for most of the world, it's the opening is on Sunday the 15th, and then but when you register, you get all the information emailed to you, so it's easy. It's easy to follow.
So for anybody watching who's multi-passionate, maybe if you struggle kind of putting your pieces together or feeling that you don't fit in, this is the place to go, because 24 speakers will be talking about their multi-passionate experience, right?
Yeah. And how, and it's mainly conversations about how they managed to find the way to put it together, like what their challenges were, how they came through it, how they managed to put together and blend together their superpowers really into something that now feels really, really good. And but they also talk about their struggles and the things that they experienced. And
I think that's important too, because everybody has their own struggles, but they may not be as unique as you think they are. And people can overcome them and give you some ideas of how they went around it or about it. It's really helpful. So is the summit going to have all the speakers available, or is it going to be like every day it would be a different speaker?
So they will be released each day. So for
Okay.
about 2 weeks, you will get an email with who's speaking or whose interview is airing next. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Awesome.
That's the setup of these online shows, similar to that. Yes. Mm.
Yeah. So you can clear your calendar for about 2 weeks, give or take,
Yeah.
and longer.
Yeah.
Um,
2 weeks. Yeah. There are a few little extras that come with it, and but you will be informed about all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you register, we'll put a link below. If you register, you'll get all the details on the launch party, and then all the speakers and conversations about being multi-passionate, which I love.
And how to create a harmony between all the things that you love into your life and into your work, because I think that it's all connected, right? Life and work is all connected. I don't think you can separate that. Yeah. Because that's another thing. As a creative, often you're advised to take a normal job and do your creative stuff on the side in your free time. And I'm sure that many will have tried that. I have tried that too. So then basically you separate your work life with the rest of your life. And I know that doesn't really work. It doesn't really make you happy in the end, and I've tried so many ways to make that work, like to have a normal job and then do all my creative stuff in the evening, meaning that I would go to bed later and later and later to extend that time that I felt more alive, and then go to, and you just drive yourself to burnout and sleep deprivation and all that. It's not good.
Totally. I have, somebody asked me one time, do I have an off switch?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a compliment. That was not a compliment. It was like, do you have an off switch? Can we just shut you off? And, and it's like, but I want to do all these things. And then, like you said, you don't sleep. So what I found out is, like, if somebody would ask me, how do you do all this stuff? I would just say, I don't sleep. And then they would leave you alone. Like, well, I'm willing not to sleep. So.
Yeah, I always said, like, sleeping is a waste of time.
Yes, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But of course, the sleep is so important.
Yeah.
To everything,
Yeah, you do really need to look after your temple, to be able to function.
That's why it's so important to combine everything that you like to do, so that your work is your fun, is your love, it's your everything.
Exactly.
It kind of all comes together at the same on the same timeline, instead of having separate, time tracks, if you will. If that makes sense.
It does make sense for me. So those that are listening now, or maybe listening to the replay, yes, that does make sense. And if you are doing it in any other way, there will be a time where you open your eyes and suddenly go like, I want to make it so that it all goes together. Because if it all goes together, it doesn't really matter for me what day of the week it is.
Yes.
I have good days every day. Exactly. Doesn't matter. Is it Friday? Fine. Is it Monday? Fine. New week is fine. I don't go like, oh, I have to go back to work. I never feel like that. I always feel like, yay, yeah.
But I think there's another trap in that, when based on kind of what our cultures teach us and how other people perceive having fun while you work, then it's like, it's not work.
Well, it is not work. I have fun. I play every day.
Right, but people are looking at that and you're just having fun. You're not working. You're not working hard. You're supposed to work hard. What's happening?
Yeah. Well, I play hard. Yeah. I put a lot of effort in having a lot of fun. Yeah. And I agree. For a while I felt like I had to excuse that. I had to apologize for that, which is strange. And now I don't. I'm completely over that. There are other mindset monsters that I deal with. I mean, we all have them, but that one, I'm totally fine. I no longer apologize for enjoying what I do and doing something that other people say, oh, I'm so jealous of you. I wish I could do that. Well, if they wish they could do it, they can, but then it takes perhaps bravery, or it takes determination, or it takes you setting your goal, your focus on what you say that you wish.
Yes.
And and then go for it, and then take the action steps to get there. So just saying like, oh, you know, it's at the end of a week and they're all tired. So, oh, I wish I could do what you do. Oh, I wish I could just live in your studio and work as, you know, like you do. Well, if you really want to, you can, you know? Yeah.
What would be the advice that you would give somebody like that? What is the first thing that they can take away maybe from listening to this conversation or listening to it later?
So if you have a wish for something else than that you're doing, I think you need to ask yourself, is that wish just a saying? Because there are also people that just say it, you know? Oh, I wish I could do that.
Yes.
Usually it is, they say, I wish I could do that. And in their head, the conversation continues. And then it goes, but.
Yes.
Da, 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 da. Because usually the person that they say something like that to will not ask them, why do you wish that, or why are you not doing it then? You know, the conversation usually stops. It's a comment, and then it's not really a question. It's a comment, and then that's the end of that. But you know, their conversation keeps going. Their conversation keeps going. I wish I could do that, but I have this. Of course, I cannot do it because of this, of this, of this, of this. Well, so you have to really be true and honest to yourself. There comes that honesty again. You know. Be honest to yourself. Is it really that you wish that? And what are the excuses? Because after the word but, everything is an excuse that you come up with. It's either, you know, but I don't have the time. Well,
I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I'm not. Yes.
Yeah. Or I'm stuck here. I cannot do this. Or there are always, you can always make another choice. But it sometimes means that you go out on a limb. You know, you go out on it's a leap of faith sometimes, you know. And but that is so good when you listen to conversations like in my next show. You know, you will hear all the conversations of other people that have felt in the same way in situations and have made that leap of faith or have made that next step. You know, they have continued to follow their dream. And so when you do that, you do get there.
Yes. So if you're watching, you may want to put it in the comments below. What do you wish to do? Like if you could put all your pieces together in one thing, what would that look like?
Yeah. I usually say, like, if there were no restrictions, you know, if there was nothing that would hold you back, what would you do in life?
Yes. So if you're listening to that, put it in the comments. What would you do if there were no restrictions? Money is no object, time is no object, resources is no object. What is your thing?
Age is no object. That's another one. Oh, I'm too old.
Geography.
You know?
Yeah. And Bryn joined us. Hi, Bryn. She says, I'm loving this conversation. So much grounded wisdom. Thank you so much, Bryn.
Nice to see you, Bryn.
Awesome.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
So before I let you go, I want to ask you what I ask everybody is, like, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy is feeling the way I feel at the moment, you know, feeling free to make my choices. But also, what really makes me happy is if I can inspire others, if I can help others to get to that stage, to that feeling. Because I won't say that I'm done, because I don't think we're ever done. I think we're always a work in progress, and that is why I say my life feels like an adventure. But what really makes me happy is if I can help somebody else get there as well. Yes. You know, if I can inspire somebody else to also live the life of their dream, you know, and their dreams can be completely different than mine. But if I can help them get there, if I can inspire them enough and ignite their passion enough and find ways to blend together their superpowers into something that they can work with, you know, that they can go forward with in their life and in their work and, you know, into their future. That makes me really, really happy. Yeah. So I want to help all women that are there to get there, you know, to get to that point and get that feeling I recently had a conversation with somebody that said, you know, because I am living on the other side of the world from where I grew up, you know, she said she's the same. So she felt like she lost her roots. And I said, well, I don't think I lost my roots. I will never be a New Zealander because I wasn't born here. I've been here long enough to feel comfortable in this world, in this country, and you know, I work here, I pay my taxes here, I had my kids here, I have my life here. If I go back to Europe, I love Europe, and I probably could live there again. I don't think I choose to, but I could live there again. But I don't fit the same as when before I moved away, you know. But then there are other places in the world I've been to, and I think I can live there too. And I said to her, I said, look, I'm at a point where I feel comfortable within myself. So I am home within myself. So put me anywhere and I will be able to support myself, live a happy life, enjoy life and all that. And she said, gosh, I am not there yet, you know? So I want people to get there, to feel comfortable and at home in themselves. And that, I think that only comes when you get to know yourself and when you start to be really open and honest to yourself.
Yes.
And it is it takes work though.
And that's the adventure.
Yeah.
That's the adventure.
Yeah.
So where can people connect with you? Where can we find you?
Everywhere. Everywhere. Well, you go, you know, I have a Facebook page. You can find me on the fiercefemaleforce.com. That's my main website. I have a joycevanderlely.com as well that features more of my art. And then I have Facebook pages, Instagram accounts. They're all connected. So once you find me one place, you will find me everywhere.
We'll put all those links in the comments below. So make sure if you're multi-passionate and you don't feel that you have it all together yet, talk to Joyce. Yes. We'll get you there, I'm sure. Yes. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I'm so grateful. Thank you. It was really fun. Yeah. It was really fun having this talk with you, and thank you for inviting me. Yeah, of course. Of course. We're like kindred spirits. You know, we do art, we're multi-passionate, we moved around the globe. Yes. Yeah. And that's the other thing, you know, it's so easy now to connect with people and to find the people that understand, that potentially can understand you. So never feel alone, because there's no reason to anymore. Yes. And I think it really helps. That really helps. Yes, and that's a great way to say it. Never feel that you're alone, because you're not. No. And with the internet and everything, you know, you have your friends in your laptop, right? and there's so many of other weirdos around like us. Like us, exactly. Yeah, because I don't think, I feel like life's too short to take everything too seriously. I don't take myself seriously either, but I do serious work. I like to have fun, but I do deep and meaningful work while enjoying and while having fun. But I love that playfulness in life, and I think life is there to enjoy. So I want to keep that playfulness alive, that inner child. A lot of adults forget and lose track of that enjoyment that you had as children, as a child. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I want to keep that. I just don't want to grow up. So I just want to keep that playfulness in my life as long as I can. Yes. Yeah. My grandfather would say, he's 27 no matter what age he was, because he doesn't want to. He just wants to keep it at 27. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to have you on our show and share you with our audience as well. It's been my pleasure. Yeah, really. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's all the time that we had today. So thank you, Joyce, for joining us today. And if you want to be on the StreetCred show, I'll put a link in the comments below so you can apply and we can talk about your StreetCred unabashedly. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week.